down and the practice squad guys who are coming up, how do you make sure everybody's ready, when it's time to go on Sunday?
That's the biggest thing I've kind of tried to say to the group after practice when we get together is just make sure, first of all, you know what you're doing. Second of all, have confidence in what you're doing. You're called up for a reason. You're going to have your opportunity. You got to make the most of it. I'm a big believer in somebody who gets opportunity. You got to make the most of it because you don't know if you're ever going to get the opportunity again. And when you capitalize on the opportunity, that's how more opportunities come about. So for a guy like Cam, I mean, he came into the game. He's been a guy who's been around here longer than I have, but he's really starting to put it together, putting some consistency going forward. And he was ready for his moment. And I was telling him, like, as soon as he came into the game, I'm like, man, you're about to make this next play. I just had a feeling of it was about to happen for him. And when he caught that touchdown, it almost felt like I caught it because I was just so happy for him, just seeing all the work that he's putting in the offseason. He had a great camp. And he's very unselfish too, the way he competes on the special teams front. So he's definitely for this team. And it was just I was very happy to see him make a play.
Hey, Terry, John, Terry.
Go ahead, John.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Lee. Terry, you sound, when you talk about like that, you sound like a 10-year vet. Do you feel like you've taken on even more of a leadership role this year because even though you're young, you do have more game experience than a lot of these guys?
Yeah, it's kind of been a balancing act for myself. I've had some veterans on the team come up to me, and they've said that they see me as a leader for this team, and they see me as a guy who they would like to kind of speak up more and things like that. And I'm trying to find that balance because I've always been a guy who's felt like I lead by example. And even back to my Ohio State days being a leader, I had to kind of step out of my comfort zone and become more of a vocal guy. And what I learned with being more of a vocal leader, it's not necessarily being a dictator. It's not necessarily telling people what to do, but you know the standards, you know the expectations of your position, the team, the offense, and you're just trying to make sure that standards is upheld. So even though this is only my second year and I'm still a young guy, I feel like I've had some experience under my belt that I can share with other guys and hopefully help them be successful as well.
Terry, how much, if anything, do you know about Robert Foster, the new receiver coming in?
It's actually kind of ironic. I've been like a fan of receivers since back in high school. I remember him being like one of the top receivers coming out of his class. Just you see his size, and then he can run really well for his size. So he was teammates with Cam, so I've asked Cam about him, and Cam was kind of teasing me. He said, "I don't know, you may be the fastest dude on the team anymore." I was like, well, first of all, I think Jeff got us both. But, I mean, we need some help at that position. We need some depth, and we need a guy that can help come in and make plays. So I'm looking forward to meeting him and welcoming him into our group and see what he can add to our unit.
Cool.
You ever have a match race with these guys to figure out who legitimately is the fastest?
Nah, I don't do that anymore. I just say check my 40 time and then I play that. That's all I worry about. I don't race people no more.
I was just curious, Terry. Obviously, when you're out there running your routes, you're doing what you're assigned to do on any given play, but it's all in conjunction with each other. What's the challenge you see this week where you've got now potentially two guys coming off the practice squad having to be part of the mix this week?
I think it's just kind of what I alluded to earlier, just being honed in on your assignments. We got guys who are learning multiple positions because we're going in with having the guys that are being brought up. They have to be able to know the slots and the outside positions because one guy may need a break, one guy may go down. You hope that doesn't happen, but you have to be prepared for everything. And I just think we have a lot in the game plan each and every week. So it's hard for guys who are even consistently playing week in and week out, but for guys who are kind of getting that first more opportunity, I think it's just even more important that you're studying the game plan in the building and outside the building. You got to put in the time and the work to study the opponent as well as what we're trying to do this week.
Hey, Terry, we don't know much about him, but is Jeff really fast? Is that something that you see in practice?
Yeah, he's a different kind of fast. I see myself as like really, really fast, but he's just like that. Like 0 to 60, you could just tell he has a different gear than other people do. And, I've known Jeff from the past. We train at the same facility for pre-combine training, just a year difference. But I've always kind of been a fan from afar, because you knew he was a fast guy. But since day one, he's come in here and just wanted to help this football team. He goes really, really hard with the scout team. And then when he gets his reps, because I've kind of been banged up, Trail's been kind of banged up, he's come in and helped our offense as well, and he provides that spark. So hopefully he gets the opportunity Sunday to display that. But I'm glad that he's on our side.
Hey, we'll take one more. We got Landon Collins waiting.
Terry, with all the changes at the receiver position, just, behind you, is that more challenging for you? I mean, do you find that you're just getting doubled nonstop in games?
Yeah, I have noticed that a lot more. It's challenging, but it's not unexpected for myself. I'm just trying to find that balance to when to pick and choose my spots, that I'm not being double teamed on every single play. So the times I have matchups where it's in the slot or we have a favorable matchup, then I have to win those matchups. But I'm not the type of guy to make excuses. I know, there's been multiple quarterbacks, there's been double teams, there's been shifted coverages. I'm the type of guy who just wants to produce no matter what the circumstances are. I feel like that's what separates good receivers and great receivers is no matter the quarterback, no matter the situation, they still come out and produce. So if you have that mentality, you never give yourself an excuse or a cop-out where I'm getting double teamed so I can't do this. Oh, the quarterback is this, so I can't do that. I don't take that mentality at all. I just try to prepare the best that I can and compete on Sundays.
All right. Thanks, Terry. Landon will be right in 1 second.
No, appreciate y'all.
Go ahead.
All right, Landon. I would imagine things have not gone the way you'd hope they would this season, both from a record perspective and the secondary with Shefflin. What do you guys need to do to get back on track here?
Play complementary football. Offense move the ball down the field. Defense get the ball back. Special teams make sure they make no points and score points on special teams. That'd be the biggest thing. Our biggest requirement is just playing complementary football.
Hey, Landon, John Kime, ESPN. We always hear about playing with your eyes and getting your eyes in the right spot. It seems like sometimes that's not always happening with you guys. How hard is it to always do that? And do you think that has been a problem with maybe guys looking other areas to make big plays or whatever?
I think guys, the position we were in defensively, we just try to bait or try to do something that we saw on film and stuff like that. And try to get the ball back as much as possible. I think that's what that was main concern. And you try to score on defense. So I think that's the biggest thing. So I think right now is just honestly doing our jobs, play our right technique and play with our eyes. Another thing with that, only thing that could get your eyes messed up is with motions and just being tuned in with the motions and what everybody's moving around.
Hey, Landon, you were on Josina Anderson's podcast and you were talking about Dwayne being benched, and you mentioned if I keep missing tackles, then I might get benched too or something. I guess, do you feel like missing tackles has been a problem for you this year, or what did you kind of mean by that?
It was just a point that I was making. When you don't play good, stuff happens. I could go back to when I was playing with the Giants. My first year with Spagnuolo, he told me that if I don't step my play up, he's going to have to find another safety. I remember that conversation very vividly. He called me in that morning around 8 o'clock that morning, and that's what his conversation was. And my game picked up after that. It was a point. Has my tackling been a problem? I think no. I think I missed 9. I've been told I missed 9 tackles. So within the last, how many games we played? 5?
6
games. So yeah. Yeah, 9 tackles in the last 6 games, and I think I got 40 tackles. So I don't think it's pretty bad.
Hey, Landon, can you just take us through what happened on that Daniel Jones 49-yard run or whatever it was?
Honestly, that was miscommunication on all levels. We thought the technique was supposed to be done differently. So that was kind of really about it. When we got to the sidelines, we corrected it, and then he pulled it again, and it was a no gain. I think it was a 1-yard gain after that. So.
Hey, Landon, it's Kim Jones from NFL Network. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
I remember those days with Spags too, by the way. But when you face a running back who's having trouble fumbling like Zeke is, and Zeke has said that he's now gone back and looked at all of his fumbles to try to learn from them, how as a defender do you approach that player in this game?
The way other teams approach them, try to surprise them other teams have, from blindside hits to just punching at the ball when he lowers his shoulder pads and just go for the ball. That's the tendency of when I watch the film and when I watch his fumbles of what has happened. So, like you said, he's going back and watching his film. So he's probably going back and watching where people are coming from and how people are attacking the ball from him. So we have to find ways to do the same.
Thank you, Landon.
No problem.
Landon, you had a switch at safety next to you last week. How did you and DeShazer mesh, and what can he add in the back end of that defense?
We mesh very well. Honestly, that's I talked to Julie yesterday. That's literally my best friend. I mean, we train together every offseason. We've been training together since my second year in the league. So that's kind of like how we've been best friends since then. And then he knows the game pretty well, and then he just kind of playing off of me. And then what he brings to the defense is aggressive safety play, downhill safety, and fear when the ball is in the air. And like those hits that he put on the Giants receivers last year, that talk is being talked in their receiver group right now. So that's big.
How did you guys get so close? I mean, different safeties on different teams. Where did that connection kind of first start?
We're both from Louisiana, so he's from Rivera. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. So we both trained with Ryan Clark down in Baton Rouge, right there up at Burbank, and right down the street from Louisiana, LSU. So we've been going to him since our second year in the league together, and we just connected from there.
With DeShazer, he plays so aggressively, kind of an old school style of play, and you know that gets guys fined or suspended a lot of times today. What do you tell him about finding that line? And obviously that's what he does, and he does it so well, but also known it could go wrong as well.
We work on our strike zone all day during practice. So the guys in the air and guys crossing the middle, we literally break towards that strike zone, getting out past Laura, making sure we're in that area every single time. And we harp on that big time because nobody like those fines and nobody's want to get suspended, you know. So we definitely harp on that. And I need him back there as much as possible. So I don't need him to be getting kicked out the game.
Hey, Landon. Hey, Landon, obviously the bye week is coming up after this week, and normally that's a chance for you and others to get away from everything and literally go away somewhere else. But obviously we're in a different world here. How do you kind of view the bye week this week or next week for you?
Honestly, for me now, since we can't go anywhere, honestly, just go over all the tapes, all the games that we played, where I could change my game, change a little something, and better myself and within the defense and help as much as I can. And that's about be the biggest thing for me, just really just studying now.
Is just go back and watch all the tape from this year, or what kind of specifically do you think you would go back and watch?
Just the tape from this year, just all the games we played so far from this year. That'd be the biggest thing.
Hey, Landon, when you talked when you were at the Giants, how when you almost were benched and what it did to you. Obviously, Dwayne is going through that now. So what do you remember changing about your game, and how did it spur you?
It was what changed about my game is really just a routine wise, just coming in, studying, asking the coaches what I need to study, and asking this more as many as questions that I needed to. The game plan, what they're looking for me to do, what I need to be reading, what I need to be watching, certain things I need to be watching, how to study. Because me at Alabama, they taught us everything. We went over everything, so it's really not much to study. You kind of get nitpicks, but they gave you every in and out of the offense. So when I came here, I knew how to study, but I didn't know what to study and how to study for it. So yeah.
Hey, Landon, you spent your whole career in this NFC East division. How surprising is it when you look at the standings to see where everybody is right now?
It never surprised me. It's been this way since I entered. It hasn't changed one bit. It's always up and down, and it's crazy. Maybe sometimes the Eagles would take off, and sometimes Dallas would take off one of those years. But I think at the time the Redskins took off. So it's every team has their year. Some teams it's up, and most years it's up and down.
But collectively, right now, to see these records where they are right now, first place has 2 wins.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Landon, how's it been working with Kendall Fuller?
It's been awesome. You got a guy that's a vet guy next to me. Like I had DRC, I had Jack Rabbit. That's another veteran guy I have next to me, and he's very, very smart. Knows the game pretty well. And then you got a guy that's gonna make plays, and he's gonna pinpoint plays and help you make plays. So when you got somebody in your right hand corner or in your right ear, it's very good.
It sounds like Ron was pretty upfront with you guys that this would be a process, rebuilding the team, rebuilding the mentality, all that. Do you have a sense of how far you guys have come or where you're at in that process?
Do I have the idea of what? I like how far.
Just in terms of Ron Rivera coming in and talking about rebuilding the culture and kind of how things are done in the building and the way you guys approach things. Do you have a sense of how far you've come on that?
For myself or just for the team?
As a team.
We came a long way, honestly. Just the mindset, the competitiveness, the attention to detail. That's big. Now we just have to grow and accept it and buy into it. The more you buy into it and understand what he's trying to teach us, what he's trying to put on the table and gather, and for us to gather, the better we will be.
All right. Thanks, Landon.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.